President Sisi highlights Egypt's key role in boosting peace and security in North Africa during the African Union mid-year summit. The Ministry of Health screens over 2 million first-year middle school students for hepatitis C in 2024-2025, reaching 92% of its target. And Ministry of Finance and MSMEs signs a protocol to provide £5 billion in low-cost financing to MSMEs starting July 1st. You're watching Qnews, and these are the news from Egypt with me, Hani Saif. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi delivered a keynote speech at the 7th session of the African Union Mid-Year Coordination Summit, emphasizing Egypt's leadership in enhancing the North African regional capacity for peace and security. Speaking as chair of the North Africa Regional Capacity, el-Sisi reviewed efforts to boost the readiness of Africa's peacekeeping forces amid the continent's complex security challenges, including armed conflicts, terrorism, and climate impacts. He underscored the importance of sustained funding, regional coordination, and reform to ensure effective deployment of the African Standby Force, highlighting recent strides made through exercises and administrative reforms. el-Sisi reaffirmed Egypt's commitment to peace as a foundation for development and regional integration across Africa. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has met with leaders from Mauritania, Gabon, Libya, and Niger during the African Union Mid-Year Summit. Discussions focused on enhancing African integration, development, and maintaining peace and security across the continent, reflecting Egypt's ongoing commitment to regional cooperation and stability. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met with Ghanaian President John Mahama today at the African Union Mid-Year Coordination Summit in Malabo. They discussed strengthening bilateral relations and cooperation to support development and prosperity, building on historic ties. The leaders also focused on enhancing African continental integration, particularly through Ghana's role hosting the Continental Free Trade Agreement headquarters and Egypt's leadership of the Regional Trade Ministers Council. Regional issues, including the Sahel, Somalia, and Sudan, were also addressed to promote stability and development. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met with Equatorial Guinea's President Teodoro Obiang Nguema today during the African Union Mid-Year Coordination Summit in Malabo. The leaders discussed boosting bilateral ties and expanding cooperation in trade, investment, energy, infrastructure, and industry. They also emphasized advancing continental integration, stability, peace, and security to support Africa's development. Both praised each other's roles in strengthening African unity. Egyptian President Fattah el-Sisi has met with Angolan President João Lourenço on the sidelines of the African Union Mid-Year Coordination Summit in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea. President el-Sisi praised Angola's current leadership of the African Union and its commitment to strengthening continental cooperation. Lourenço, in turn, expressed appreciation for el-Sisi and Egypt's historic and pivotal role in Africa and the African Union. The two leaders discussed peace and security across Africa, focusing on the Horn of Africa, Sudan, the Sahel region, and the Nile Basin. They also explored ways to deepen bilateral ties and expand cooperation to promote prosperity and development for both peoples. Egyptian Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation Hani Swim has announced a $100 million financing mechanism to support development and infrastructure projects in the southern Nile Basin region. Speaking at a ceremony marking Rwanda's National Liberation Day in Cairo, Dr. Swelem praised Rwanda's role in the Nile Basin Initiative and emphasized the importance of inclusiveness and consensus for the initiative's sustainability. Highlighting the strong partnership between Egypt and Rwanda, he mentioned ongoing efforts to formalize cooperation through a memorandum of understanding focused on water management, groundwater drilling, rainwater harvesting, and climate resilience. Minister of Finance Ahmed Kushuk emphasized the importance of adopting innovative financing mechanisms to support Egypt's healthcare system during a meeting with WHO Regional Director Hanan Balkhi. Kushuk highlighted the government's commitment to investing in health, with 617.9 billion Egyptian pounds allocated to the sector in the current fiscal year. He stressed on the need for financial sustainability to expand quality healthcare services across Egypt. Balkhi, joined by UHIA Executive Director May Farid, expressed the WHO's readiness to collaborate on advancing health financing policies, expanding fiscal space, and sharing expertise to help Egypt achieve universal health coverage and meet sustainable development goals. The Ministry of Health completed the presidential hepatitis C screening for first-year middle school students in the 2024-2025 academic year, reaching 92% of the target with over 2 million tested. Positive cases received treatment, supporting each goal to eliminate hepatitis C. Screening was done using rapid tests by trainees, with cases referred to specialized liver committees for follow-up care. Deputy Prime Minister for Industrial Development and Minister of Industry and Transport Kamil Al-Wazir has completed a field tour inspecting and inaugurating key industrial projects in Munofaya and Cairo. In Qusna Industrial City, Munofaya, Al-Wazir opened a $25 million engineered glass factory by Al Arabi Group with a 2 million square meter annual production capacity and laid the foundation for a $108 million refrigerator and deep freezer factory in partnership with Sharp Corporation. Together, these projects are set to create over 4,000 jobs. The minister also visited Adka Farmers Pharmaceutical Plant, producing human and veterinary medicines for local and export markets, and Bell Color's leather tanning factory, exporting over 90% of its output globally. The Egyptian Transport Ministry has issued an urgent warning to drivers following increased attempts to encroach on the bus rapid transit lanes on the Ring Road. The ministry stressed that unauthorized use of the left BRT lanes threatens the system's efficiency, raises accident risks, and disrupts traffic flow. In cooperation with the General Traffic Department, authorities will enforce strict penalties against violators to protect mass transit system and maintain traffic discipline. The Egyptian Ethylene and Derivatives Company has become the first petrochemical firm in Egypt to complete a full carbon footprint study covering all three emission scopes: direct, from electricity and supply chain emissions. Conducted with PetroSafe and Integral, the study was externally verified by national and international bodies, aligning with global standards like the GHG protocol and ISO 14064-1. This achievement demonstrates Ethideco's commitment to environmental performance, supporting Egypt's 2030 vision and sustainable development goals, and setting a new industry benchmark in transparency and emissions reduction. The National Telecommunications Regulatory Authority has mandated Egypt's 4 main telecom operators to compensate customers affected by service disruptions caused by the recent Ramses Central Exchange fire. Fixed-line internet users will receive an additional 10 gigabytes of data, while mobile subscribers will be credited with 1 gigabyte. The compensation aims to offset connectivity losses during the outage that impacted multiple governorates. The fire, coupled with ongoing extreme weather conditions, highlighted the need for improved infrastructure resilience amid rising demand. Egypt has reopened several historic valleys in St. Catherine, including Wadi Shekhawad and Jabal al-Arba'in, after a decade-long closure to protect the ecosystem. The move supports the Great Transfiguration project, aiming to develop the area as a top eco-religious safari destination. With £4 billion invested, the project includes new infrastructure and St. Catherine International Airport, targeting up to 1 million visitors annually. St. Catherine is known for its spiritual significance and natural beauty, including Egypt's highest peak. Egypt's Ministry of Culture has soft-launched a revamped version of its official website aiming to modernize its digital infrastructure and enhance public access to cultural resources. The updated platform offers a centralized hub for cultural events, digital applications, interactive services, and archival data designed to provide an easy-to-navigate and engaging experiences for users. Minister Ahmed Fouad Henno said the trial phase will gather user feedback to refine the site before the full launch, highlighting the initiative as part of Egypt's broader digital transformation and cultural development aligned with Vision 2030. Minister of Finance Ahmed Kushuk and MSMEs CEO Basel Rahmi signed a protocol to provide £5 billion in low-cost financing to micro, small and medium enterprises starting July 1st. The funding, part of the 2025-2026 budget, aims to boost private sector growth, support young entrepreneurs and prioritize productive sectors. The initiative marks a shift from subsidies to investment-driven support, encouraging formalization and economic inclusion. MSMEs account for over 75% of employment in Egypt and are key to sustainable development. The Central Bank of Egypt has reported a liquidity increase in the banking sector to 12.821 trillion Egyptian pounds in May 2025, up 137 billion pounds from April. The money supply rose to 3.285 trillion pounds, while currency circulation outside banks reached 1.355 trillion. Local currency non-government deposits grew to 8.432 trillion pounds, driven by higher demand deposits and time deposits across public, private and household sectors. Meanwhile, foreign currency deposits fell to an equivalent of 3.033 trillion pounds, down 88 billion from the previous month. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin for now, but here are the main stories we've been covering. President Sisi highlights Egypt's key role in boosting peace and security in North Africa during the African Union mid-year summit. The Ministry of Health screens over 2 million first-year middle school students for hepatitis C in 2024-2025, reaching 92% of its target. And the Ministry of Finance and MSMEs signs a proposal to provide £5 billion in low-cost financing to MSMEs starting July. These are all the Egyptian news we have for now, but please remember to stay updated by following Q News for the latest developments. Thank you for joining us.